We love this game.
Like,
It's not for us, right? The UI is perfectly fine for us. As
this is the
many people
problem.
are saying it in in the chat that like don't change it. I like it the way it is, you know? But
Here's the problem. They've already have us. Everybody that plays this game, they've already won us over. They don't have to change anything for us. We already are okay with the way that it functions.
right.
Everything that they would be doing would be to modernize the game in a way that's more standard across the MMO or just RPG or gaming sphere. So that when players come into this game, they don't have to feel like they're relearning something that we've already accepted and love.
Right.
That they
Like how
could feel like they
Taiki was
understand how to
mentioning
play
like
the game, just the very basic mechanics of the game, that they understand it. And then we can throw the extra nice features on top of that. So
right.
they don't have to
Like
fight the mechanics and then learn the game at the same time.
and Taiki was saying earlier, like just the idea of activate was kind of counterintuitive. And somebody else, like I'm just gonna try to see if I can find it, but somebody else was saying even that
There are
Pinkstream was saying
things it
even
could
right
do.
clicking things isn't as intuitive as you might think. Like this game has such a counterintuitive UI. Yeah, I mean like the interface between the what you do, like holding
Yeah,
left click to look around, like that's in no other game that I've ever played.
yeah.
And
So
right clicking to open menus.
separate learning the game from basic mechanics of the game, right? So there,
Right.
and this is to you, Dreas. It is an attraction of the game, just how much you can learn, Worm, but you don't want them to be fighting just basic mouse mechanics,
Right.
right? Like,
I,
we don't see it because we play the game and we're fine. Like, but
right.
sit down anybody that's played a lot of the other games, if you have like any friends that have just played MMOs their life, and then get them to sit down in Worm and just watch them for the first like 5 minutes. And it's like that 5 minute pain. I mean, that's what sticks in their head. They're
Right.
gonna say,
Dezo,
"Why would I play that game?" They remember when they played that game that they couldn't even figure out how to like move their character.
yeah. Dezo, you're looking at it from the perspective of somebody who's rewired their brain to already accept that left click is to look around. Like a completely separate person than the one I was discussing before. I
This is
sat
not
them
about
down with
us.
Worm. I watched them play, and they got so frustrated with the fact that left click was look around. But by the maybe 20th time of swearing at his mouse, he said, "Forget it. I can't play this game." Like he
So
couldn't play it literally because he couldn't get it in his head that the left, like he knew it in his head, but he couldn't get his brain to get his finger to press the mouse button in the right way that got him to do what it wanted to do because he was so used to right click looking. And that's just
yeah,
like he couldn't play the game because of that.
yeah, and then yeah, Tuxie, you're saying it does make it hard to switch back and forth between different games because it's like reversed. It's like the whole argument of, when I scroll the mouse wheel up, should I look up or should I look down? Sometimes those are reversed in different games. And if you're going to switch between two different games that do it differently, your brain's going to have trouble adjusting. And it's the same, like this is an MMO. We're trying to bring players from other MMOs into this game that like sandbox, and we don't want to make the mechanics of the game be something of a stepping stone between them. That's all. Um,
Right.
you want to give them the
Back to
option
the
to be able to feel better right from the first 5 minutes of them playing, and not have to get them looking. And it's just another sort of thing that they could do to help ease players into the game. And what was funny is that they actually did, if you look at over here, add something called swap mouse buttons, and it says swap left and
right.
right mouse buttons. That
Right.
doesn't work.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Try
They
it.
implemented
Click it
it.
on. I don't know
It
why it
did
doesn't
work at
work.
one point. I'll tell you exactly why it doesn't work. They implemented it. It worked for a little while, and I tested it out. And I couldn't use it that way, even though I'm really used to right click as look and left click as the left click was menu. In the game world, it was no problem. It was the moment I went to using the inventory menus That's where the problem was. And I can't exactly tell you exactly what the problem was, per se. It was like part of like rewiring my brain again, right? But just the act of opening up, let's say
Yeah.
the, like, like the family of, like you have the, let's say 5 stone shards and you click the little button there. I couldn't get my brain to use the right click to open up that. And I couldn't use my brain. Like I couldn't, it just was frustrating in the same way as it was frustrating to my friend who tried and couldn't get used to the left click look. So in that respect, it didn't feel good.
Right.
Why do we guys not report what things?
I'm assuming the swap mouse button problem. And the thing
Oh,
is that Worm has,
I've
uh,
asked Retro about it already.
yeah, they have a big list of bugs
Yeah.
already. If you think that it hasn't been put onto their list,
Yeah.
like, it has. But
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is that it was on the list, but then the current people don't remember or don't know that it was on the list. That might be the case.
they have a list,
But
they
I
could
know
look
for
at
a
it. It's just
fact,
not the top priority on that list. The list is so
yeah,
long.
I know that is on the list for sure somewhere.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If I reported everything that I think needs to be changed, it would like it. Here's the problem with the devs. The devs look at the suggestions, and I know there's that argument that the devs never implement anything from the suggestions. It's like, right, because most things on the suggestions shouldn't really be implemented. And if you have somebody who's just like constantly every day they come up with another thing that needs to be improved, it's like the devs aren't going to like they're going to get numb to it after a certain amount of time. Like they have to
Yeah.
get to the point where they're like, we're going to focus on doing this. This is how we're going to decide to do it.
Hmm.
And all these arguments we have to sort of come up with our own way based on.
Okay. Back to the
Okay,
roadmap. Perfect thing. So
back
they
to the
did it,
room.
and
Okay,
Samul said, "We are gonna focus on this." What
should we
is
leave
that?
this
So
open? What do you think?